Have you ever had that feeling, that subtle nagging sensation? You're just stuck in a rut.
Hmm.
Maybe everything looks okay on the surface. Job stable, family's good, got a roof over your head, but like deep down, something's just off.
That little flicker of dissatisfaction.
Exactly. That sense that something's missing, that quiet sort of erosion of enthusiasm we all feel sometimes.
Definitely.
Well, if that resonates with you at all, then you're exactly who we're diving deep for today.
Absolutely.
We're going to unpack a really fascinating novel, Rafael Giordano's Your Second Life Begins When You Realize You Only Have One.
Such a great title.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And it is fiction, a compelling story, but it's also this brilliant, almost kind of stealthy guide to personal transformation. It's just packed with these profound, actionable life lessons.
Yeah, and what's really clever is how Giordano weaves these, self-help concepts into this engaging narrative.
Yeah.
It lets us pull out a really practical happiness method. So our mission for you, our listener, is really to extract those relatable bits, those actionable insights from the main character, Camille's journey. So you can find concrete strategies for, well, navigating your own dissatisfaction and maybe building a more fulfilling life.
Absolutely. So let's set the scene a bit. We meet Camille. She's 38, Parisian.
Mhm.
Got what most people would call a pretty good life, husband, son, job. But she feels profoundly unfulfilled.
That more or less feeling you mentioned.
Exactly that. It's this chronic dissatisfaction that eventually leads to this fateful car accident one stormy night.
A literal crash.
Yeah, quite literally. And that's when she stumbles upon this enigmatic stranger, a man who calls himself a routinologist.
Okay, routinologist. Intriguing.
So Camille's starting point is described as this chronic dissatisfaction, right? An accumulation of micro frustrations.
Yeah, it's not like a deep despair, but it's certainly not joy either. It's that slow, quiet draining of enthusiasm that honestly probably a lot of us can relate to at some point. And this is where Claude, the routinologist, he introduces this concept he calls acute routinitis.
Or tinnitus.
Yeah. He describes it not as a clinical illness, but as this deep sickness of the soul.
Wow.
It shows up as lack of motivation, feeling lost, disenchantment, finding it hard to be happy even with material comfort.
Right, even when things look okay.
Exactly.
Hmm.
And Claude really stresses to Camille that these troubles of the soul are, and I quote, tremendously serious, even if they're not, diagnosable depression.
That makes sense.
That pervasive feeling of having everything you think you need to be happy, but still lacking. Well, he calls it the key to make the most of it.
Acute routinitis. I mean, that term is just perfect for that specific kind of malaise, isn't it?
It really lands.
It really hits home.
Yeah.
So, okay, if that's the diagnosis, this routinitis, what exactly is routinology then? How does it offer this innovative approach for people who feel they didn't have the key?
Right. Well, routinology, as Claude explains it, it's less about a formal profession, like being a doctor or therapist.
Yeah.
And more about an innovative method. He says it draws on centuries of philosophical, spiritual, even scientific thought. It adopts tried and tested personal development techniques.
This is like a curated collection of what works.
Exactly. Think of it as a distillation of humanity's most useful tools for, positive evolution. And the core belief, which I think is so powerful, is that the capacity for being happy has to be worked on, built up day by day.
So it's not just something you find or are born with.
Precisely. It's not a lottery win or some sudden epiphany. It's a skill you actually develop and strengthen over time through practice.
And that makes so much sense when you hear about the author Rafael Giordano and her own story, her inspiration for the book.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, she went through her own profound turning point, chose to completely reinvent her life, and pursue a creative, artistic path.
Wow, so she lived it.
It seems like it. It really confirms that routinitis, even though it's an invented term, feels deeply relatable because she kind of poured her own journey of escaping an unfulfilling life right into Camille's story.
That authenticity definitely comes through. And what's really insightful in Claude's method, I think, is how he explains that your thoughts influence your reality.
The mindset thing.
Exactly. He uses this vivid analogy, compares it to Plato's allegory of the cave, but applies it to our own thoughts factory.
Okay.
He suggests our minds are constantly churning out beliefs, assumptions, prejudices that can, distort how we see things, like shadows on the cave wall.
I did.
But, and this is the crucial part he emphasizes, you have the power to change those thoughts.
So we're not stuck with the factory settings.
Not at all. It's about recognizing that our mindset isn't fixed. It's more like a filter we can adjust. We can choose to see the glass as half empty or, half full.
Okay, so diagnosing the routinitis is the first step. But how does Claude actually get Camille moving towards real, tangible change, especially when those big life shifts feel so daunting?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Right.
How do you make it stick?
Right. What's the secret?
Well, Claude really emphasizes what he calls the theory of small steps.
Small steps. Okay.
He tells Camille that decisive life changes, the big ones, they don't usually happen in one giant, scary leap. They happen through small, apparently insignificant transformations.
Little hinges swing big doors kind of thing?
Exactly. And here's the real kicker, I think, for anyone who's ever tried to make a change. He says, it's not managing to do things once that's complicated. It's doing them every day.
Ah, consistency. That old chestnut.
It really is. Consistency, it turns out, is the true engine of transformation, according to Claude.
Okay. That makes sense. So for anyone feeling stuck, that first big task he gives Camille, the mission spring clean, seems like a brilliant place to start.
Oh, absolutely. It's all about recognizing that powerful, undeniable link between our physical surroundings and our mental state, our clarity.
Right. Tidy house, tidy mind.
Pretty much. For Camille, it involved two parts. An inner cleanup like identifying toxic or negative stuff in her life,
Yeah.
relationships, even just how she organized her day.
Okay, the mental clutter.
Yeah. And simultaneously, an external spring clean.
Yeah.
She literally had to throw away at least 10 useless objects and properly tidy her home.
Physically decluttering.
Exactly. And that physical act of clearing out her living space directly helps her regain mental space and clarity. It's like making room, literally, for new possibilities.
That connection is so powerful, isn't it? The idea that our environment reflects our inner state. Was that first step hard for her?
Well, the inner cleanup was probably tougher,
Yeah.
facing those things. But the physical action made it feel concrete, achievable.
Mm-hmm.
We also see her implement a swear jar, but for negative thoughts.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. And she gets her family involved, so it becomes this collective effort to kind of curb the pessimism in their house.
Nice.
And Claude also tackles the time excuse head on. He gives her this key insight. Time as such is not a problem. Only your mindset makes it one.
Oof. That hits hard.
Doesn't it? He encourages dedicating just small, consistent blocks of time, maybe 15 minutes, half an hour, to personal growth, challenging that classic, I just don't have time excuse.
Right. So with the external stuff getting sorted, the story then takes this really fascinating turn inward, doesn't it? Exploring how Camille really starts to reprogram her thinking.
Yes. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, Claude shows Camille this really powerful diagram. It illustrates the vicious circle versus the virtuous circle.
Okay, explain that.
So the vicious circle, it shows how a negative thought can spiral into low self-esteem, which then leads to failure, reinforcing the negative thought. It's a self-feeding loop.
I think we've all been there.
Oh, absolutely. But then the virtuous circle shows the opposite. A positive thought leads to high self-esteem, which then fuels success, reinforcing the positive thought.
Creating momentum in the right direction.
Exactly. And Camille clearly sees herself stuck in that vicious cycle. And just recognizing that, seeing the pattern, is the vital first step to actually breaking free and choosing a different path.
It's like you have to see the map before you can change course.
Yeah.
So what were some of the specific tools Claude gave her to start shifting that mindset?
Oh, there were quite a few, and they're all incredibly practical. One was the imaginary camera exercise.
Imaginary camera.
Yeah. It encourages you to consciously change your perception filter. So instead of automatically noticing what's annoying or frustrating in your day,
Which is easy to do.
so easy, you actively look for and mentally photograph the pleasant things. A nice interaction, a beautiful flower, whatever. The idea is to build this inner catalog of positive images and memories you can draw on.
That's clever, like training your brain to see the good.
Precisely. Another really powerful one is the act as if technique.
Okay.
So Camille applies this at her sales job, which she kind of hates. She starts pretending it's the most exciting in the whole wide world,
Seriously. Just pretending.
just acting as if. And what's remarkable is this simple shift in her attitude leads to almost immediate positive feedback from her boss. It shows how our internal state can genuinely influence external reality.
Wow. That's amazing. Just shifting the perspective changes the interaction. What else did she learn for that internal shift?
Well, there's the art of modeling yourself. What's really insightful about this one is how it taps into our natural ability to learn and aspire.
Modeling yourself on others.
Yeah. By deliberately choosing qualities from diverse role models, she picks Audrey Hepburn for charm, Gandhi for wisdom, Steve Jobs for inventiveness.
Quite the combo.
Right. She wasn't just imitating, she was actively shaping her own identity, boosting her confidence by visualizing and integrating those qualities she admired.
So it's not just about fixing flaws, but actively building who you want to be.
Exactly. Then there's the inner dialogue technique. This involves repeating positive affirmations daily in front of the mirror.
Oh, the Stuart Smalley thing. I'm good enough. I'm smart enough.
Kinda. Even if you don't fully believe the statements at first, the idea is to slowly reprogram your subconscious brain and foster a more positive self-image over time.
It sounds like very deliberate work, rebuilding that self-perception brick by brick. And how did she learn to bring more sort of outward joy into her life?
That's where Smile Capital and the Inner Smile come in.
The Hill Capital.
Yeah, Camille even visits a smile bar in the book.
A smile bar. Is that real?
Well, in the book it is. And Claude presents scientific evidence. Smiling, even if it's forced, actually reduces stress hormones, makes others perceive you more positively, and genuinely leads to greater happiness.
The physiology kicks in?
It does. And the inner smile is different. It's a deeper Taoist practice rooted in ancient Chinese philosophy. It teaches you to cultivate inner peace and health by focusing positive energy internally, even without a big grin on your face.
Interesting, like an internal warmth.
Exactly. And complementing this is practicing moments of gratitude, just consciously cultivating daily appreciation for things, big and small.
Right.
Her healthy son, having a roof over her head, even just a hot cup of coffee, it acts as a powerful antidote to negativity bias.
Focusing on what you do have.
Precisely. And finally, to really solidify all these changes, she starts a positive notebook.
Okay.
Here, she meticulously documents her triumphs and joys, big breakthroughs and tiny wins, alphabetically.
Alphabetically? Why?
It's just a structure.
Yeah.
But the act itself builds what psychologists call positive anchoring. It creates these strong mental links to positive feelings and memories that she can access whenever she needs a boost, reinforcing her self-esteem.
That makes sense. Creating a personal resource of positivity.
Yeah.
So it's clear that relationships are, often a huge source of both our greatest joys and, let's be honest, our deepest frustrations.
Tell me about it.
Right. So Camille's journey, it wouldn't really be complete without tackling her often strained interactions, especially with her husband, Sebastian, and her son, Adrian.
No, definitely not. And this really raises an important question for all of us,
Yeah.
How do we navigate conflict constructively?
Yeah.
Claude introduces this concept called the dramatic triangle to explain Camille and Sebastian's arguments.
Dramatic triangle.
Yeah, where they constantly switch roles. Victim, persecutor, savior. He points out how this dynamic completely prevents any real resolution. They just go round and round.
Oh, I recognize that pattern.
Many of us do.
Yeah.
So to break that cycle, he teaches them the FEET method.
F-E-E-T.
Yep. Focus on facts, express your emotions, encourage the other person, and call a truce.
Okay, break that down.
It's about shifting away from blaming you statements, you always do this, to owning your feelings with I statements. Like, when you hinted, I worked less than you, fact, I felt upset because I felt undervalued. Emotion. See the difference.
Yeah, much less accusatory. Focuses on the impact on you.
Exactly. And then the encourage and truce parts help find common ground and stop the escalation.
They also learn some practical de-escalation tricks, right?
They do. Like having a shared red card signal they can use to pause an argument before it boils over.
Like a timeout.
Kind of. And also steam off stamps, which is basically about expressing feelings as you go along in smaller doses rather than battling everything up until you explode.
Addressing things before they fester. Makes sense.
And for reigniting the passion side of things, Camille tries amorous creativity.
Ooh, intriguing.
Yeah, she starts sending little retro text messages, leaving romantic Post-it notes, all guided by this fun rule called CQFM.
CQFM.
No censorship, quantity of ideas, fantasy, and multiplication of ideas. Basically, injecting playful, uninhibited creativity back into their intimacy, letting go and having fun with it.
I like that. And what about Adrian, her son? Their relationship was strained too, right? Homework battles, distance?
Yeah, that classic parent-child friction. She learned to use playful creativity there too, to reconnect and set boundaries in a lighter way.
Like how?
Well, turning homework into a game of grandmother's footsteps, Or creating an imaginary restaurant scenario to make cooking dinner a shared adventure instead of a chore.
That sounds fun.
It completely transformed their interactions, apparently. Brought joy back into their daily routine, which had become quite tense.
Now, there's this fascinating concept Claude introduces about elastic bands. Can you explain that?
Ah, yes, the elastic bands.
Yeah.
This is really insightful. He explains that past wounds, like for Camille, her father leaving her mother when she was young, can unconsciously act like these elastic bands.
Oh.
They sort of tug at you from the past, causing these disproportionate emotional reactions in your present-day relationships. You might overreact to something your partner says because it unconsciously triggers that old abandonment wound.
Wow. So past hurts influencing present reactions.
Exactly, even when the current situation doesn't really warrant such a strong reaction. The key, Claude suggests, is identifying these old wounds, becoming aware of them, and consciously cutting those ties.
How do you do that?
Through self-awareness, understanding that you're no longer that helpless child, and maybe even forgiveness, forgiving the past so it doesn't control your present. It's about separating past pain from current reality.
That's deep. Okay, so with her inner world shifting and her relationships improving, Camille then gets the courage to go after her biggest dream, right?
Yes, her long-held ambition,
Oh.
launching her own children's fashion brand.
And her process for doing that sounds incredibly practical.
It really is inspiring. She dives into exploring ideas, does what the book calls Google storming, basically intense online research for concepts, competitors.
Google storming, I like it.
Me too. And she ultimately develops this really unique fashion leasing model for baby clothes.
Leasing baby clothes.
Yeah, it addresses that real-world problem. Babies grow so fast, clothes get expensive, and are quickly outgrown. Her idea offers a sustainable, affordable rental service. It's genuinely innovative.
That's a brilliant idea. But I imagine the path to launching a business isn't exactly easy street.
Oh, definitely not.
Yeah.
Camille faces some major hurdles. Significant skepticism from her own mother, who really valued financial stability over risky ventures,
Ouch. Family doubt is tough.
isn't it? And then, even more crushing, she gets rejected by 3 different banks for funding.
3 rejections. Wow, that would stop a lot of people.
It would. And this really brings up a crucial point for anyone chasing a dream. How do you keep going when you face that kind of doubt and rejection?
Yeah, how did she manage?
Claude shares this fantastic analogy, the frog race.
Frog race.
Yeah. The story goes, there's a race, frogs are trying to climb a tower, and the crowd is shouting discouraging things. It's too high, you'll never make it. All the frogs give up, except one deaf frog who reaches the top.
Because he couldn't hear the negativity.
Exactly. It's a vivid reminder not to let yourself be swayed by others' doubts, especially when, often, those doubts come from their own fears and limitations, not your reality.
Filter out the noise.
Filter out the noise. He also suggests creating a power songs, playlist music to build confidence and keep motivation high during those tough stretches.
Simple but effective.
Totally. And ultimately, Camille's sheer tenacity pays off. She finds and secures funding from a place called Populous Bank, which apparently had a reputation for backing small businesses that traditional banks rejected.
Amazing. A real testament to her perseverance and belief in her vision.
Absolutely.
So after this incredible journey, the inner work, fixing relationships, launching her dream, Camille finds herself celebrating. She's at the Arc de Triomphe in Paris, reflecting on everything she's achieved. It's this powerful moment of triumph.
Yeah, she feels like she's finally conquered her life, fully in control.
And this is where the story delivers its biggest twist, right? The core philosophy really comes into focus.
It really does. Claude drops a bombshell. He reveals he's not actually a professional routinologist at all.
What? Not a real job?
Nope, he's actually an architect. He explains that he was mentored years ago by a man named Jack Miller in what he calls a mutual aid chain.
A mutual aid chain.
Yeah. Claude shares his own backstory. He was apparently a fat, depressed, middle-aged guy with no future after a bad breakup, and this Jack Miller helped him turn his life around, helped him become what I am today.
Wow. So Claude was the patient first.
He was. It's incredibly moving personal reveal.
So wait, this whole routinologist system, it's completely different from what Camille and, frankly, we as readers assumed.
Totally different. The idea is those who receive help then become routinologists themselves. They choose someone else to mentor, someone they see struggling with routinitis, and they pass on what they've learned.
Passing the torch.
Exactly. So the office, the supposed assistant, even those fake routinology files Claude had, It was all part of the staging
Staging, why?
to create this believable, immersive experience for Camille, to help her suspend disbelief and fully commit to the process, because maybe she wouldn't have taken advice from just some random architect as seriously.
That makes a strange kind of sense. It helped her buy in.
Precisely. And it really underscores the core belief. Whoever has been helped becomes a routinologist in turn. It's not about hoarding secret knowledge or selling expensive services. It's about empowering others with proven techniques, creating this ripple effect of positive change.
And Claude's own journey from being depressed and struggling to becoming this successful architect, thanks to Miller, it made him uniquely qualified to guide Camille. He wasn't just teaching theory, he'd lived the transformation.
Absolutely. He understood it from the inside out.
And then bringing it all beautifully full circle, Camille's journey culminates in this really powerful symbolic moment at the end, doesn't it?
Yes. Remember her first car accident? The one in the storm that led her to Claude?
Yeah, the catalyst.
Well, right at the end of the book, she experiences a second car accident.
No. Not again.
But this time, the circumstances are different. And more importantly, she is different. She's calm, she's self-assured, she's deeply connected to her own inner resources.
Okay.
And in the aftermath of this minor accident, she encounters another woman, Isabel, who's clearly in distress, exhibiting all those classic symptoms of routinitis, just like Camille used to.
Wow. History repeating, but with a twist.
Exactly. And that stark contrast between how Camille handles the first accident versus the second one, it's this profound symbol of her complete transformation. She's not panicked or lost anymore.
She has the tools now.
She has the tools, the inner strength, the clarity. And in that crucial moment, seeing Isabel's distress, recognizing the pattern, Camille makes a pivotal decision.
What does she do?
She offers Isabel her business card, offers her help. She chooses to continue the chain.
She becomes the routinologist.
She becomes the routinologist, paying it forward, just as Claude did for her. It embodies the true spirit of her own second life.
That's incredible. So, okay, let's wrap this up. What does all of this really mean for you, our listener, hearing Camille's story?
Well, I think the core message is incredibly clear and empowering.
Yeah.
A truly fulfilling life isn't something you just stumble upon or wait for passively.
Right. It's not found, it's built.
Exactly. Something you actively build day by day through conscious effort and those small, consistent actions we talked about. Your second life, as the title says, it really begins when you internalize that profound realization. You only have one life. Make it count.
It's really about taking responsibility for your own inner world, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's about the power of changing your mindset, deliberately fostering positive self-talk, consciously cultivating gratitude, addressing those past wounds, those emotional elastic bands, and actively, purposefully working on improving your relationships.
These aren't just nice ideas, they're practical pathways.
They're practical, proven pathways to fundamentally transforming your reality from the inside out.
So you, the listener, you absolutely have the power within you to create your own second life. It's about taking that responsibility, daring to dream maybe a little bigger than your current circumstances allow, and then consistently applying these kinds of methods.
Yeah, ultimately, you are the only one responsible for your own life and happiness. No one else can do it for you.
So considering Claude's whole philosophy, this mutual aid chain, here's a thought for you to maybe ponder after this deep dive.
Okay.
Who might you encounter in your daily life? Maybe a friend, a colleague, perhaps even a stranger you interact with briefly, who might unknowingly be exhibiting signs of routinitis, who could potentially benefit from this routinologist chain.
Interesting question.
And thinking about that, how could you, perhaps subtly, apply some of these principles, maybe just a shared insight, an encouraging word, modeling a positive approach to empower someone else? And maybe even more profoundly, what might that journey of helping another teach you about yourself?